Hello everyone, I am Shweta Yadav from Central University of Jammu. I welcome you all to the fifth episode of podcast series Trailblazers under the flagship program Wisdom of Indian National Young Academy of Sciences. Wisdom stands for Women in Science domain, and in each episode of Trailblazers, we interact with eminent women scientists. Today we have with us our guest Dr. Sugandha Maheshwari from IIT Roorkee in conversation with Dr. Neetu Jha from ICT Mumbai. Dr. Sugandha is an assistant professor in Department of Mathematics at IIT Roorkee. As you know, mathematics is a subject that generally scares many of us, but probably this is not true for Dr. Sugandha. She did her graduation and post-graduation in mathematics and was a scholarship holder for all 5 years. Thereafter, she carried out her doctoral as well as postdoctoral research work with prestigious fellowships like Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Fellowship, DSTN PDF, and Inspire Faculty Award. With a good publication record, she has also co-authored a software package. She has been invited for various international research visits and conferences. In addition, she has conducted many outreach activities over the years. She is an active member of INYAS, where she also served as a core committee member for a couple of years. So without much delay, let's start today's interaction. Over to you, Dr. Neetu. Thanks.
Thanks, Shweta. Welcome, Dr. Sugandha, to INYAS Podcast series. In this series, we invite women achievers to share their journey of STEM and their mantra to balance the personal and professional life. So, Dr. Sugandha, tell us, what is your research area?
Firstly, I would like to congratulate INYAS for such a good initiative and thanks for inviting me. So getting started with my research topic, as you asked me, I'm an algebraist. Basically, I'm a mathematician and my research area is in algebra. I work with group rings, representation theory, and I also work on related computational algorithms.
What made you select mathematics?
Well, mathematics was an obvious choice as this was the only subject which I never got bored of since childhood. I enjoyed learning mathematics at almost every stage, may it be at school level, when you have basic things learning, or higher studies, or even now. And at young age, my motivation was very simple, that this subject works purely on understanding. It's a complete logic, it needs rational thinking. So, minimum cramming or memory skills were required. So this is something which really lured me towards this subject. And as I grew up, it is more of my involvement that brought me closer to the subject. There is so much to learn. One can never get saturated in learning mathematics. There is so much to explore. And right now, that is what appeals me the most in the subject.
That's awesome, Dr. Sugandha. What is the motivation for your current research fields?
Okay, so the research field that I'm working in right now, the basics of which were introduced to me by my supervisor, my PhD supervisor, and my postdoctoral mentor. This subject is closely related to representation theory. You can say that, the study of group rings and representation theory, they go hand in hand. And representation theory is a very well-established subject. It has connections with mathematical physics, for instance, mathematical chemistry, knot theory, coding theory, and it has lots of applications. For example, you see its applications in circuit design, statistics, signal processing, telephone network designs, network problems, robotics, radar design, antenna design, and so on and so forth. The list is really big to be put up together here.
Have you developed any technologies in your lab so far, and what is their impact on the society?
Okay, so we generally say we develop theorems and not theories.
Yeah.
So basically, theorems are like well-defined results that we obtain under certain hypotheses, under certain conditions. And these are generally far ahead of their times. So mostly you will see applications coming quite later. So though there are many applications, but it is difficult to describe, the direct impact, direct application to the work in day-to-day life, that I'm doing this today, so tomorrow you see it in this. One understandable example could be its application to coding theory, which is essential for all sort of communication today. One needs to take care of various parameters like the data correctness, the data transfer, safety of data, what is its speed, the cost effectiveness, etc., etc. So algebraic coding theory, that is a subject which plays a vital role in this subject, and the development of these codes for data transmission, that is associated to understanding of finite group rings, and that is one part of my research. So yeah.
Let us know something about your research group.
I'm only 1 year old as an assistant professor, so same is the age of my research group. Also, I have one student working with me, um, a female PhD student. So you can say another women in STEM in making.
That's great going. How do you balance between personal and professional life, Sugandha?
Well, this is something I would say one just learns along. It's ever evolving learning process, something that you cannot be 100% prepared for, however inputs you get from people. You need to be really strong mentally as well as physically. For my case, if I say, like everyone else, it has been a very demanding role. I'm a mother of two, and I have a dual role, like I'm a mathematician too. So I'd say my family has been the strongest support system. Maybe my husband, my mother-in-law, my mother, they've all played phenomenal role in letting my this dual journey be as smooth as possible. So this double role of progressive mathematician and a young mother of two toddlers, this wouldn't have been easy. This wouldn't have been the way it is without them. And having said that, there have been many a times difficulties. Despite their extended support, I had to face a lot of struggle in fine balancing the two. But every time, just echoing in my mind that both are equally important. I cannot say no to either of my responsibilities. And then keeping this positive attitude, this held me strong and intact, and I'd like to maintain this balance forever. Both are important, personal and professional life, and I just try to be guilt free in playing either role.
That's really awesome, Dr. Sugandha. Any specific advice for the people who wants to select this field of area or for research?
I'd say that you should step into this field or any field for that reason if it really appeals you. If you really have zeal to learn, then there is no end to your learnings. But you need to really enjoy your work and embrace it fully, because there are going to be various hardships that you're going to face. So you need to really love and like your work. That is something very important. Sometimes what happens is that people are lured with the achievements or awards or perks that other people are receiving, but it won't work for you unless you yourself like it. So everything is secondary. Primary is your research output, which needs a lot of hard work, consistency, and regularity. So driving force within yourself, that is a must to keep going. Also, about mathematics, if I say, this is one subject with which you can opt for various directions. This overlaps with almost all sciences, as you already know, and you can choose different directions for yourself. The applications of this subject are too widespread. You have a very big bucket to choose from, the kind of work that lures you, which is meant for you. But having said that, you need to understand that to be able to make good choices, one needs to learn some fairly good amount of mathematics first. And then you can, look into various directions and choose one which suits you the best.
So, Dr. Sugandha, what is the motivation to select this field to girls group, and what they should be focusing on if they select this field?
Yeah, right now, because we are talking about girls and women in STEM, I'd like to say once again that for this field of mathematics, And again, for any field of science, gender, it's not gender specific, right? Science does not discriminate on gender. If you like the subject, please step into the beautiful world of mathematics. It's a very cliche that girls cannot do mathematics or they're not good at it. Nothing like that. So, and out of experience, I'd say that one practically good point is that this subject does not have very high demands. In the sense, you just need pen, paper, books, at the max computer, and of course good guidance. So what I mean to say is that there is a less of lab work requirement that you have in this field, and because of that you have more flexibility of working at your own convenience in terms of time, place. So that way it could be an additional benefit of learning the subject. And this also means that comparatively there is less need of funds that one has for this subject. So that is another perk that you get with this subject.
Yes, that's definitely a big motivation. Less requirement and more output can be there.
Indeed.
Thanks, Dr. Sugandha, for sharing your journey with us. We are proud to have you as our INYAS.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure.
Thank you, Dr. Neetu, for hosting this wonderful interaction. And big thanks to our guest, Dr. Sugandha, for sharing her inspiring experiences. With this, we have come to an end of this episode. I thank all our listeners for being with us today. We will virtually meet you soon again with another inspiring women scientist. Till then, stay tuned and have a fantastic day ahead.